stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip-hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip-hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't freely straight apply. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Been East to rich when Eastern they still when I make it fast. But the schoolies never bet for me, my dough is still for thighs. I'm the horn, niggas know they cute you, I keep out the bone. But let's get it, you know my me and miss be up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will stay up front. And if they got me know, then I you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. This scene I'm busy, but I hate I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get I'll keep a four, I know some plain of yes. Taking trash to this card from my leasing to living. All the flu on the blame that resenting me reeling. Next geeking not enough, I might never be willing. You shall never know what you I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I 7 in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, you know by now it's on the line of people, but you never know this name is Kanana sequel. Sticking fresh, taking down, so decide the needle. Put down, stay the time to lime like you want the needles. And if you hate when I like the brown, it's like your cam in the ground till they come a noun. But like I'm so fresh up and do the moves confused. And now I know what's up and noon and that was all fuck you. Say you never lose stakes, it's not a purricana. I was go always not a like a bagel, Jake your face. But I was thinking to his soul when I was by the cover. And now I rain, man, I name like the make whatever. I say kablim, flame mine, you gave me no restriction. This nap so hard, go within and never missing. Convinced that you need love me now, but store and never tripping. It's the enemies of all, boy, you'll come and get tripping. Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I say the in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream.
Live your dream. That's what I do right here at GPTV1. I want to welcome y'all. Monday edition. I'm running a little behind, but I'm still here. Had a lot going on. Things I had to tend to. And it just ran over. But when I got here, I immediately got on the computer, started getting this show together. And I'm thankful I actually got some of it together earlier today. So I ain't have to do much. Get on here, add a few things, but I'm here. Monday edition. Like I say, I do this every Monday. Whatever I got going on during that day, I make sure I try to get here, get on this live stream, unfiltered. Usually around 9 o'clock or something like that. But like I said, no matter what I'm doing, I try my best to get here, to get on this live stream every Monday and Wednesday. I got a lot of stuff I'm going to unpack in this live stream. Definitely going to look at the updates with pop singer David. Many people are speculating that this guy is definitely cooked. Something got to do with a private investigator, and I'm going to analyze that, and give my commentary on that. And then there was just another story that just kept coming across my notifications about this woman from Philadelphia. And it made major news headlines. And the major media outlets picked up this story. And it's been all over the country. And they actually found her remains and all that. So we're going to look into that. I want to thank y'all for joining me. You're listening to the replay. If it's your first time to this channel, do me a solid and click that like button, click that subscribe button, and help this channel march straight to 8,000 subs. I mean, not 8,000, 9,000. Sorry, excuse me. But we marching straight to 9,000 subs. We made it to the 8,000 mark. With your help, we can do that. I want to shout out to my member. I got a new video dropping probably tomorrow. It's halfway done now. And the members get the first look at videos. Members always get the first look at videos. So that will be dropping tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of stuff I'm going to be putting out there. And I appreciate that. I appreciate my membership. So definitely. Without y'all, I just wouldn't be so motivated. But anyway, before we get to all that, I want y'all to check out this public announcement.
Yo, what up, Dope GP family? We're alive, and I need you to lock in. First up, check out the GP online store. Limited drops, exclusive gear. Rep the channel and stunt while you do it. And if you want to support the stream live, smash that super chat or send some love via Cash App or Chime. Every donation goes straight into making this show bigger and crazier for you. So what are you waiting for? Shop, donate, vibe, and join the GP family. Let's make this stream legendary.
Yeah, let's make it legendary. There's a few ways how you can support this channel. You can go to the GP store, pick up some merch from over there. You can hit me in the super chat while I'm live. We'll highlight you on the show. If you feel a little generous, you can send something to my Cash App or my Chime. All of that is motivation. So again, I got a shout out to my members. Thanks for signing up on the buddy plan, $2.99 a month. You all can sign up, $2.99 a month. But more importantly, I just appreciate y'all listening. It don't cost nothing to hit that like button. Shouts out to my new member. And I know I got to grind it out. And I'm willing to put in the work. But this guy right here, David, man, many people are speculating that this guy is cooked right here. Like, you toast. Like, all this stuff is pointing to this guy. This guy right here. They found that Tesla. I think most people know the backdrop to this story right here. And they found that Tesla. He claimed he haven't been driving that Tesla. He had got a whole nother Tesla. But then his private investigator popped up. And a lot of those people be working on these cases. Private investigators, internet investigators, internet sleuths. There'd be a lot of people trying to put the puzzle together to solve these crimes. But here at GPTV1, I don't do investigative reporting. I do cover stories in the true crime genre. It's for people who are true crime enthusiasts. That's the genre I work in. So, and when you're working in stuff like that, a lot of the podcasters, they cover true crime. They may not call it that, They got big platforms and all of that. And a lot of people covering this story. They're not going to sleep on this one. But when these stories pop up, a lot of people be trying to solve the crime. And they do help law enforcement with information. And this private investigator, he'll tell you, I gave the police this information. The one question I do have about this PI, who hired you? Who sent you to look for this information? It hasn't been an official arrest yet, so there's no reward or no bounties on it. Or you're just doing it for pastime or passion. But you do have professional PI people out there. They do that for a living. They're just like bounty hunters. You remember that TV show, The Dog, The Bounty Hunter? Like, those guys are not real polices, but they bounty hunters. And they got some, I wouldn't say full police membership, but they got connections to authorities. When they do these bounties and they go arresting people, you know, you gotta take them people to a jail. Like, where you gonna take them to? You have professional bounty hunters out there that don't necessarily work for a police force. And these PIs, they be on the case. They'll find out some details about some stuff. The people out there be more than willing to give up information, especially if you paying them. I just think this guy, this is just my personal opinion. I think this guy, there's something wrong with this guy. I mean, just looking at this picture that you all see out there, I mean, the guy looks strange. That's just my opinion. He looks really strange. It looks like he has a dark mind. But that don't mean he whacked somebody. You can't say that and then convict somebody. This private investigator, he claimed he found out some bombshell information. At least when it comes to the Tesla. Join the GP Buddy membership for only $2.99 a month. Your first access to video. As a matter of fact, let me pull up something right here, family. Stay tuned. Let me pull up something. I'm looking for something really quick. Where is that at? Stay tuned, fam. Okay. Got a lot of stuff on this computer. I really need to take time and dump some of this stuff off my computer. Dump some of this memory, so I gotta go buy me a memory card very soon. I need like a few of them, like 3 or 4 of them, because I got a lot of files on this computer. Stay tuned, fam. I'm looking for something. Let me see. Ain't down there. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, back to David. All right, I had to take a moment. I had to look up something. And I'm thinking about maybe going to a new platform to do this live stream. Like looking at it right now and seeing how it works. This is pretty cool too, but the other one, you know, I can add a lot of stuff to that. But I want to go to this private investigator, check out some of the stuff he was saying that he found out when it comes to this case right here. And it still haven't been concluded that this was a homicide. Police been really quiet about this situation. All the information that's coming out is coming from podcasters like the private investigator. You know, these people just interested in following this situation. Let's go to the private investigator. Stay tuned, fam. I'm ready to share my screen. I heard a little bit of it earlier. We're watching this together, fam.
Of her, and it's scary, the sadistic stuff.
Big news on the David Celeste Rivas Hernandez case. We now know who the private investigator is that was hired by the Hollywood Hills landlord for the home that David had been staying at, right by where the Tesla was found with Celeste's body inside. Well, we just sat down with this investigator.
I just asked that question before I played this video. I was saying, who hired you? What is your interest in this case? Are you doing it for passion or what? And they just said that the people that own that house, they hired them. They hired them. And more than likely, you got connections probably all over LA. Turn that off. But let's get back to it.
himself, Steve Fisher, about what he has learned so far, what we can expect next. Let me tell you, it is shocking. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Shouts out to Jesse Weber.
Hey, real quick, everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. There are allegations right now claiming that online apps like DraftKings and ESPN Bet and BetMGM and this $3.64 million this case is about small tattoo on their fingers. And if that wasn't eerie enough, David has this unreleased song with Celeste in the title that's been reported. Everything has unraveled for David since the discovery. There's been a canceled tour date, pause on promotions for his upcoming album, drop brand deals. And while all of this is happening, David has been making some major legal and financial moves. He's retained Blair Burke, the powerhouse Hollywood defense attorney who's represented people like Harvey Weinstein. David learned LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman spoke out, confirmed the case is still under investigation. No case has been presented to his office yet. We're going to get into that a little bit. But now I want to bring on our special guest. I'm joined by private investigator Steve Fisher, who is hired by David's former landlord. Really appreciate you taking the time here to talk about this. First off, Steve, how were you hired? How were you retained in this matter?
That's what I wanted to know.
So originally, when the body was originally found, I had another missing persons case going in LA of a female, and we thought that could be that.
This guy probably got connects all over LA. I bet you do.
Individual. And so I kind of stayed with the case for a little while until she was identified, and we knew it wasn't. And I had, discovered some other things, such as when the car was towed and the photos from it being towed and whatnot. And, the owner had gotten in touch with me of the house, and I shared some things with him, and it just kind of evolved from there. But one thing, I would say is he is the owner of the house. He wasn't David's landlord. David wasn't even on the lease, and the owner never even knew that David was in the house. It was actually Josh Marshall, his manager, who had leased the house.
But to be clear, David was living there, right?
Yes, he was definitely staying there. It just was not known to the owner.
Right. Okay. And by the way,
that raises a reasonable doubt. Now you bring in the manager. Now he looking shady.
Understand this is an active investigation. There might be limited what you can share, but what exactly is he looking for in this? What exactly is this property owner? What kind of answers is he looking for?
So where really kind of evolved from was the search warrant was served, I believe, on the 17th or 18th, and it was a forced entry search warrant, meaning that nobody was home at the time, and they did not leave a copy of the warrant or of the return, the inventory list of the items that they took from the house. And it was really kind of born out of that. I was not officially retained at that time, but I helped him try to obtain that.
Man, they can kick the door open, whether you there or not. They're coming up in that joint.
And we told robbery homicide, hey, listen, no warrant was left behind. David was out on tour. Josh Marshall lives out of state, we found out. So the owner had his representative go to the house immediately after he found out about this. And there was no warrant, no return. So he really just wants to understand what of his property could have been taken and what the status of that is. And then also, this is troublesome when you learn something like this. All of a sudden you're thrown into this, and he feels absolutely horrible for Celeste's family. And he's like, if there's anything that involves in and around my house that could help, then I want to discover that. And I'll tell you that there have been things that we've learned and we've turned right over to LAPD, but we think they're significant.
I also said that in the intro to this live stream, whatever information they come up with, they shoot it to the police. These private investigators, internet investigators, they help the police out. So,
things that could help.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
Things that can help. So you get involved with this stuff down. Not only that the homies, they fall and fold up when they go on an interrogation. You got other people out there that's helping with these cases.
There might be evidence that a crime was committed at that house.
Not so much a crime, no. And I'll just be honest with you. we don't have any evidence that anything happened to Celeste at that house, but there is definitely evidence that we've collected that helps the timeline. We now have a much better understanding of when that Tesla arrived at that
This little girl probably 13 on this picture right here.
Parking spot. I'll tell you, I do have surveillance from different houses in the neighborhood showing Tesla being moved. So things like that, and I'm not even saying that LAPD didn't have that. I'm sure they did, but we wanted to make sure. And, and we did some work on the up-resing the footage to find out who was driving the vehicle. And there are some other items that were found at the house that weren't taken during the search warrant. And, search warrants are limited, right? They can't just go take everything. It's what the judge, and we don't know how broad that search warrant was because we haven't seen it. That's what we like to see. But there were some things that were not taken into custody of LAPD that we think are significant, and including digital media and some other things that really help nail down timeline and things like that.
Man, it's not a drug raid. They ain't trying to take everything in there. They want them devices. They want to see your browser history. They looking for that digital footprint. Plus, they looking at obvious blood and stuff like that.
And you handed that over to LAPD. There's other.
We have the day that we the things that we've recovered, we've given to LAPD within 24 hours.
Do you know who was driving that car, that Tesla? You don't have to tell me, but do you know the identity?
Yeah, as far as it going to the final, what we believe is the final parking spot where it was towed from, yes.
And that information's been communicated to law enforcement.
So it's been given to law enforcement. They're not going to tell us if they're confirming if that's a person or not. Robbery, homicide, the way they work is we'll take your information. We're not going to speak on it, So I don't know. But listen, it's very clear.
That's the whole thing. You can bring information to them all day long, but they're not about to elaborate about the case to you. You are not law enforcement. You're not one of the detectives. They're not even sharing that information with other officers in there. You know what I'm saying? So you can give them that information, but they're not going to tell you what they're going to do with it. They'll use it, though. That's a fact. They will use that stuff. And guess what? This is one of the points I'll be making on this show. Like, every time people come out, somebody saying somebody a snitch or something like that, then it trends all over the internet. Then you have all the podcasters and all of that. They making episodes about it. Oh, man, such and such a snitch, this, that, and the third. And then what they do, they go to people and say, what's your opinion on that? And they'll say, well, his name not in the paperwork. This is the prime example of what I'm talking about, that people don't end up in paperwork. So they bring a case against this guy. I can almost assure you this private investigator is not going to be in that paperwork. He's not going to be on the stand or anything, but you just heard him. I helped him with some information. So yes, a lot of people who help with these cases, they do not end up in paperwork. That's an excuse for all of that. Well, his name ain't in no paperwork. I guarantee you this guy's name is not going to be in any paperwork. But anyway, people want to stick to that. I think otherwise, but we can agree to disagree.
That neighborhood is filled with surveillance cameras, and the timelines. Once we learn those dates, and we can see other things that were happening that were even public on Instagram and whatnot, were going on in those people's lives.
I know people that went to prison for that, and the people that told on them, they ain't end up in no paperwork. They ain't even had to get on the stand.
It makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you this: if you see when the car was parked there, have you seen anything to indicate that Celeste's body was transferred into that car after?
Let's hear that again.
So let me.
Once we learn those dates, and we can see other things that were happening that were even public on Instagram and whatnot, were going on in those people's lives, it makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you this: if you see when the car was parked there, have you seen anything to indicate that Celeste's body was transferred into that car after the car was parked there? Or in other words,
to LAPD within 24 hours,
Do you know who was driving that car, that Tesla? You don't have to tell me, but do you know the identity?
Yeah, as far as it going to the final, what we believe is the final parking spot where it was towed from, yes.
and that information's been communicated to law enforcement.
So it's been given to law enforcement. They're not going to tell us if they're confirming if that's a person or not. Robbery, homicide, the way they work is we'll take your information. We're not going to speak on it, So I don't know. But listen, it's very clear that that neighborhood is filled with surveillance cameras and the timelines. Once we learn those dates and we can see other things that were happening that were even public on Instagram and whatnot, or going on in those people's lives, it makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you this. If you see when the car was parked there, have you seen anything to indicate that Celeste's body was transferred into that car after the car was parked there? Or in other words, do you believe that her body was in that car the minute it was parked in the location it was ultimately towed from?
So I'll say I have no evidence of a body being transferred before or after. There's no evidence of that at all. What I will say, when it was moved to that position, it was already like that. So that car had not been used in a very long time. It was super dirty, caked on dirt. I'll tell you, this was in late July. So it's bizarre because we also got media that the car was used a lot. David even spoke about it in Instagram videos. He took it to a detail shop and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the very beginning of the year, that car, something happens, and that car's doesn't show up anymore. It's not used. It seems to disappear. And then that red Tesla learned, which we didn't know until the search warrant was served, that there's a red Tesla in the garage, which I can tell you was leased on February 1st.
Yeah, let me just narrow down here. Do you have the precise date of when that car, the one with the Tesla, with Celeste's body inside, when it was left there? Do you know the specific date of when it was left in Hollywood Hills?
I believe so. I believe it. Late July. Very late July.
So one thing that we've heard, and this is something we've talked about, is the LAPD has seized footage from the rental property, multiple security cameras around the property. There are even reports of a smashed Ring camera on the ground. Yeah. And according to TMZ, police seized all the footage from multiple security cameras at the house last month when they executed the search warrant. TMZ described that footage as a, quote, potential gold mine for investigators. And the question becomes, did you see anyone coming into or leaving that property after the Tesla was there? So after the Tesla with Celeste's body inside is there, can you tell us you saw people coming in and out of that property before the search warrant?
Question.
No, not from the time that the Tesla was left. So from the time the Tesla was left there, he literally immediately started the tour. There was a tour bus that was leased, and I'll tell you that Tesla was moved and literally a bus departed for tour.
Okay. You talked about things that might have been taken from the house, things that you handed over to LAPD. Is there anything you can share with us about?
Speculation. They cause for speculation. Now you're bringing in the manager. Who went on tour? And then they got to find out how this girl died. They still haven't came out with that information. How did she actually pass away? Let's go.
What that information may be? One thing that you just brought up, and I guess what TMZ reported on, the security system. The house has got...
Is somebody carrying something right there? Is that supposed to be her? Y'all see that man? This screenshot come from TMZ, and you see a man out there look like he carrying something. That don't look like no David.
A very sophisticated security system, not just with cameras, but with sensors and all types of things. It all records to a DVR. And for privacy reasons, the owner, when he leased the house, said, this is the system that's in the house and you can use whatever functions you want on it. That's not something that then the owner could access. So we don't know if the cameras were enabled or not enabled. But if they were, it wouldn't just be cameras. It would be, we'd know anytime anybody came and went from the house, anytime anybody opened a window, everything, if they kept it like it was. But we don't know. LAPD came in and took that whole DVR. They took the entire system, which you would expect. And I've talked to the security company that installed the system, and they've told me, how it was set up. We think it was probably running because there's limited alerts that the security guy can see, which is stuff like if there's a major failure. And there was a low power failure warning that triggered right when they were executing the search warrant. And we think that's when they unplugged the system. So there's reason to believe that the system was running. Whether the cameras were covered or not, I don't know. I can tell you that some of the smoke sensors in the house were covered, and that's probably because maybe I don't know what they were doing in the house. So the cameras might have been covered as well.
During the course of your investigation so far, have you learned more information about Celeste and David, perhaps their connection, anything we should be thinking about that hasn't been publicly reported? Is your investigation also into them as well?
Sure. Yeah. And one of the reasons that we kind of come public with what I'm doing is because, I have a little bit different method of working than a lot of private investigators and then what people think is the proper way of doing it. I believe in this digital age, and when, especially the younger generation, when they're on places like Discord and you don't even know.
That looked like Celeste right there. What I do know, she's covered up in all the videos she is with him. One of the reasons I think she's doing that is because she hiding from her family, for one, because this girl is running away from home. She knows she's only like 13 years old. That's another reason why she's covering herself up. But then he probably got her doing that too. When you're away from your family and you're a young girl like that, you can be easily manipulated. And this is the type of situation they probably was tossing her around. I don't know. That's just speculation, but still. It could be the manager too. Let's go.
The real identities, I put myself out there, and those people do come to me, and a tremendous amount of people have come to me, and I've learned a lot. Now, listen, a lot of it's circumstantial, right? But there are people that are directly in his orbit, and there are people that have photos and videos, and we've gotten a lot of photos and videos from inside the home itself. So we can put people at certain dates and times at the house, and there's a lot of them. It's in the thousands.
Do you know if Celeste was ever at that property?
So, what we recovered, we don't have any of her at that property. We have pictures of her and that were taken by David, we assume, because it's not on a camera phone, but these photos are on a regular camera at different locations. And it really makes me think that it's likely she had another place she was staying. I can tell you that there was a lot of time spent towards downtown LA. And I'll say the last photo that we have of Celeste is January 2nd, 2025.
Let's go back. Look at
that. There was a lot of time spent towards downtown LA. And I'll say the last photo that we have of Celeste is January 2nd, 2025.
If you're a producer who hates it.
Let me stop sharing that. Family. That was the private investigator, the PI. And a lot of this stuff is, you say he got a lot of footage, but he's not the shot caller on these cases. He's hired by the owner of that property. They want to know what's going on. They want to make sure their name don't get tied up in this stuff. They want to be clear of that. And then David wasn't renting that house. The manager was on the lease. Now, that brings a whole nother twist into this. And I think the manager came out and said something. Make sure y'all check out the playlist, Rhymes, Rules, and Realness. There's a lot of stuff I'm covering in the hip-hop world. GPTV1 cover a lot of hip-hop stuff. And I want to say, yo, GP fam, this is a quick plug. Shop the GP online store for exclusive merch you won't find anywhere else. Support the stream live with Super Chat, send love via Cash App or Chime. Every bit helps make this show bigger and crazier for you. The truth never lies. That's the motto. The truth never lies. Back to David's. Now you're bringing in the manager. That brings more speculation. And you can use that stuff when they come to court. Everybody think he is cooked. He the one gonna get charged. But what if he do get charged? As his defense, they gonna say his manager probably was driving his car around. His manager rented that house. And according to this PI, whoever drove that car, they went immediately on tour. So you gotta find out who is the person that went on tour. More than likely, if that's the manager, they went on tour together. But he didn't make it seem like it was plural. He made it seem like it was a single person. And obviously they saying he wasn't really even driving the one they found, because he had at least a whole nother Tesla. It just look bad on this guy because he's around here hanging out with this little girl. And he started dating her when she was about 12. And this little girl was notorious for running away from home. Bucking the system, you know, hanging out with older people. And she was trying to pass off like she was 18. She may have had some type of fake ID or something like that. May have. But that's the bombshell information from that PI. They got those cameras. You can believe that. The police got what he got. So, what new is he bringing to the situation where, and I'm not trying to doubt his credibility or whatever. He's probably good at what he do. But you know, when these cases get popular and they trend and all that, you can end up on the podcast circuit. This is cautionary tales. We telling you don't do that. Think about what you're doing. You need some mental health therapy. Go see somebody. Go get some help. You know, if you got dark thoughts and stuff like that, I think you need to go get some help. And I really think this guy had like a dark mind because he spent so much time on the internet. Since he was a kid, he was just always on the internet. Like he didn't have no real friends in the neighborhood and stuff like that. So people like us, we from the hood, you know, we know everybody in the hood, you know. We know everybody. Especially back in my day, when I was a kid, yeah, everybody in the neighborhood was your cousin, you know. Everybody in the hood was your cousin, but this guy didn't do none of that stuff. He was just in the house. Then he was homeschooled, so he didn't go to schools like kicking it with students and stuff like that. He didn't get involved in any school activities. So most of his time was spent on the internet. So all his friends were all over the internet. He even met this girl on the internet. We live in the days and times of that now where everybody be on the internet, social media and all of that. But he truly lived on there, literally. He ain't had no real friends, so he don't know what a real social life is like. He'll tell you that himself. You go look up some of his interviews, he'll tell you. He said when people ask him where he from, like most of us say, hey, I'm from the east side, or I'm from Buckhead or something, South Central or something, you know. I'm from Brownsville, Brooklyn, you know. Most people would say something like that. But this guy right here, he say he's from the internet. The internet is his hood. So he got in early on the video games and stuff like that. So he was able to build something. And I don't even think he's really just a real singer. He like make this dark type music that became trendy type music. And we do far too many stories where these artists be known for the wrong reason. They get their big breaks, they get tours and get millions of dollars. And you have stuff like this going on. So we gotta see. We just gotta see. The guy said whoever dropped that car off, they went immediately on tour. So it gotta be either him or the manager. They still gotta find out about how that young girl passed away. Let's move on. This is another story, man. Really just messed up, man. This girl was vibrant, young, had goals and plans. And when you think like that, You had to put it in action. And she was putting it in action. She was putting it in action. She was documenting a lot of stuff she was doing on her social media pages, working out, exercising, working. I think she was a model. She had a lot of stuff going on. A very busy person. I don't think she had any children, and it is not known if she was in a relationship or not, where she had some type of boyfriend or something like that. And all the stuff she had going on, I don't think she was actually looking to be in a relationship right now. Some people just be like that. You know, you want to focus on your goals and things you got going on in life. If you want to get into a relationship, it got to fit into that. Like, you got to be heads over heels to get that attention. And I like to see people do things, you know. Don't just talk that talk to me. I see a few people in the building. Do me a solid and click that like button. Share this live stream with your network. You know, on Facebook and all of that. I do this every Monday. Every Monday I'm on here talking about some of these hot stories, these trending stories. This particular story just kept coming up. When I had these stories, they keep coming up, I go ahead and look at it, you know. Like, and this is some psychopathic type stuff. They did find her body and all of that stuff, you know. And people just didn't want to hear that news, you know. They ended up finding her at a school, but a tipster basically told them, or the police, where to find this girl's body. So at least she can be brought home instead of her remains being left out there in the wilderness. Because sometimes you can't even find these bodies or whatever like that. But I like to see people be vibrant, whether you're young or you older. Me, I try to come with mad energy. Like, I put in work, you know, always got something going on. And I take my time to relax and get my sleep and all of that. But I got projects I be working on. Sometimes I stay up late at night working on projects. Like the Shadow Empire, that's coming. There's a lot of work that goes into that. There's gonna be something special, like a full season, 6 episodes. We looking for that. It would not be on YouTube unless it's in the membership. But anyway, this girl Kada, let's go to some news reports on this. Let me share my screen, family. Shouts out to y'all, family. I'm gonna share my screen. Let's check out a news report on this. And somebody did get charged. And this guy looked like a wacko. He just looked like one of them super thugged out hood dudes that ain't got nothing to lose. Check out this news report.
You're expecting to learn more information about the disappearance and death of Kada Scott. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Erin Coleman. Scott vanished 17 days ago from her job in Chestnut Hill. 2 police sources confirming to our NBC 10 investigators that human remains found over the weekend belong to her.
Man.
Right now, we do not know how she died. We do not know who is responsible, though police have arrested one person for kidnapping her. Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner, he just stepped up to the podium to talk about this case. Let's listen in.
Which we focus on 2 different things. One of them being gun violence data, and another being a related special topic. That is not what we're doing today. This press conference is yielding to the needs and the wishes and the priorities of the family of Kada Scott, In the process of addressing those needs,
I want to send my condolences out to her family.
we will be announcing that there are new charges being brought against Keon King. We'll get into the details, but the bottom line is a second case has already been approved, and we expect there to be a new arrest today. In all likelihood. Keon King, when he was brought in from the jail.
Bombshell. I ain't even know that.
The arrest will be for burning of a car, arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, several other charges, and we'll get into the details of that in a moment. But more than anything, as I said, this is a press conference that I hope will in some way address some of the needs and wishes of the family. At this time, I'd like to identify some of the good people who are here. We have with us Philadelphia City Council member Anthony Phillips from the 9th Council District, who has been extremely heavily involved in addressing the family's needs, as have other city officials, but extremely heavily involved, including in a meeting with the family where I was also present. He will be talking about the efforts that his office is making specifically to address the family's needs when he speaks later during this conference. We have First Assistant DA Robert Listenby here, ADA Ashley Kozlowski of the DAO's Homicide Non-Fatal Shooting Unit, who is
Let's put it up a little bit.
Handling this matter.
We got an introduction going on.
Reading it, he will be standing with us when a statement from the mother and father of Kada Scott is read today. That statement will also be put up on the screen so that you will have the text of it. Over the last several weeks, Mayor Sherelle Parker, the Philadelphia Police Department, the Philadelphia DA's office, elected local officials as well as faith leaders and community leaders have been showing acts of kindness, support, advocacy, prayer for Kada Scott's family. Yesterday, I had the chance to visit Kada Scott's mother, father, sister, uncle, and cousins, along with Philadelphia City Council member
Let's
Anthony
put it up,
Phillips,
son. Let's feel like an introduction.
Advocates to prioritize critical, necessary services to support the family and communities that are impacted by this horrific killing. Tania Leonard and friends.
Good morning. I'm Tania Leonard, the Director of Crisis Assistance, Response, and Engagement Unit here at the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. And on behalf of the CARE,
okay, that's something like resource.
Street, we believe that vehicle is the vehicle that was used in this
case. Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Junkyard. The burning of a vehicle. That vehicle is
another person tampering with evidence. Ashley Kozlowski will be, at this time, lead counsel in the prosecution of Keon King and has been working tirelessly on every aspect of the case, including obtaining a warrant that contains additional charges. Those charges include arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, receiving stolen property, reckless endangerment of another person, tampering with evidence. We are not done, but
it wasn't a killer.
This is a significant development in the prosecution itself, and obviously there have been other developments already reported over the weekend in the case. It is my pleasure to call forward Ashley Kozlowski, who does about as good a job as anyone I've ever seen.
Thank you. As of last night, our office approved charges, as the DA just said, of arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, tampering with evidence, recklessly endangering another person, and receipt of stolen property. Those charges are in reference to the burning of a vehicle. That vehicle is a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. That vehicle first entered our radar last week. Investigators received a tip that there was a vehicle burning and that vehicle had some connection to this case. At the time last week, when investigators went to the location where the vehicle was burned, that vehicle was no longer there. It had already been towed, compacted, it was in a junkyard. This weekend, we recovered additional evidence, including video evidence that confirms that this vehicle, we believe, is the vehicle that Mr. Keon King used to move Ms. Scott. We recovered video out from near the Ada Lewis Middle School, where our search and the investigator search has been focused. There's a rec center directly next to that school. Video evidence was recovered from that rec center, and we are now able to say that this Hyundai Accent was on location at all of the times we're looking at all of the pertinent points in the investigation. That vehicle was stolen on October 3rd from the area of 6600 Sprague Street. We believe that vehicle is the vehicle that was used in this case. That vehicle was then on scene at that rec center, which ultimately, as we all know, is where we found Ms. Scott's human remains. Video evidence indicates it was on location. Video evidence then indicates it leaves the location. It is burned on October 7th. It was located at the 2300 block of 74th Avenue. When this new video evidence was uncovered this weekend, investigators from the homicide unit cross-referenced all of this information with the cell phone evidence that we had already gained and we had already been using in terms of the kidnapping case and other charges. What I can share is that the cell phone evidence, the call detail records, and timing advance data as it pertains to Keon King's mobile device puts him at all of the locations that we're talking about. It's on scene when the Hyundai Accent is there at the recreation center. It is on scene when the vehicle is burned. Based on that, last night I approved those charges, and as the DA said, we should have more information in terms of bail and a preliminary hearing date, hopefully this afternoon or certainly by tomorrow.
All right. So, they got one guy arrested on this case right here. I don't know if they're going to show a picture on there. You all can Google that information and see how this guy looked. That guy looked kind of, I wouldn't want to cross paths with him. But I seen him out there because he was on a whole nother kidnapping type of charge, but he ended up getting off on that. He ended up getting off on that charge, and then he came right and did this stuff to this girl. So obviously, he did that to that girl. He stole that car, did this to this girl, and he went and gave that evidence to somebody else. It helped him get rid of the evidence. That's why that other person is getting charged. I don't think the other person has something to do with what happened to this young lady right here. You know, it's not clear on how she come across this guy. This guy could have been stalking her, probably tried to talk to her or whatever. And she ain't just giving him the time of the day. You're a roughneck running the streets. And ain't got nothing to lose. Let me see if I can find a picture of this doggone guy. This guy's shouts out to my Detroit Lions taking care of business this evening. I see a few people in here. Do me a solid. Hit that like button. Let me get a picture of this guy. I want to pull him up, see how this nutcase look. Suspect. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of this guy. There you go. Let me share my screen. Share my screen, family. Thanks for joining me, family. Y'all the best. This guy right here. This the guy they got charged with this case with this girl right here. Y'all tell me how he looked to y'all. Do he look trustworthy? It look like he don't have anything to lose. This is a bona fide certified case of dysfunction. this guy right here. Straight up and down, messed up her dreams, plans, and goals. You know, some people want you to do good, but not better than them. This guy right here, shit, I don't want to cross paths with him. He look like he peed on himself. That guy look like he peed on himself. I gotta give you a crash for that one, man. You crashed now. You crashed down the stairs, baby. Gotta give you one. Straight loser. You get a second one for that one. Let's hit him again. Yeah. I really hate it, man. But then, you know, it's far too often we have to give condolences on all these platforms, you know. I got a new video coming out. Members will view it first. They get first access. And it's coming out tomorrow. We'll get my commentary on the Supreme saga that's going on. And they got a new documentary out there. They trying to change the narrative of the Supreme, the infamous leader, or former leader of the Supreme team. Fam, don't sleep on this. Grab your GP merch now. Want to support live? Hit Super Chat or send some love on Cash App or Chime. You keep this content coming. Well, I'm ready to get out of here, family. I gotta go, man. It's always fun and blast when I do this. I just get all into it, you know. I get into these stories. For sure. Cautionary tales. Don't follow in this guy's footsteps. Don't do it. I really hate it for this young lady, man. It's already hard enough to get people to even have any type of goals. I mean, you go through the hood, a lot of people don't have no goals. All they know is what they come outside and see. They're just living for that day, you know. This young lady had big plans, big goals. She was going somewhere in her life. And she had to come across paths with an idiot like this. But anyway, stay safe out there, family. Stay safe. One love. See y'all on Wednesday. Every Monday and Wednesday. Appreciate it.
Tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I said the end, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beats, we're on the scene. Catch the buzz, live your dream. Yeah, I don't firmly straight the plot. Or when I'm stand up for the stone, I live my life. Beneath the rich, when Eastern, they stick when I make it fast. But the schoolies never bet for me, my dough is still for thighs. I'm the horn. Niggas know they cute you, I keep out the bone. But let's get you know my me and wispy up the shown. And when I see a nigga smile, you will stay up front. And if they got me, no, then I, you know I did the con. You up the icon, I see the fact. This scene I'm busy, but I hate I wake, so what I pack. I keep a searing in the rain, then I smoke as trash. And if I get, I'll keep a far. I know some planet, yeah. Taking trash to the sky from my leasing to living. All the flu on the blend, that resenting you reeling. Next kicking out of love, I might never be willing. You shall never know what you, I can never forget. But tune in, vibe high, it's GPTV1. Live stream the trends, let the exploration run. Hip hop beat,